Hi there, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. My name is Melanie and today is another Snash Your Stash video, and this month's challenge is to use enamel dots, brads, or liquid dots. And as you can see, I have a fair collection of different liquid enamel dot kind of tools. A lot of these are from Tonic Studio Nouveau drops, but I do also have enamel accents from Ranger and liquid pearls from Ranger, as well as stickles, glitter glue from various brands, etc. So most of these are glitter. Glitter carries over into here, as well as those Tonic Studio ones. And then in this one I have the liquid pearls and Ranger and some of the Nouveau vintage drops. Now, my favorite of these to apply are the Ranger enamel accents. They're a little bit more liquid than these, and so I think they just generate drops a little bit nicer and easier, but you do have to be careful that you don't place these too close together or they can merge. I also really like the liquid pearls. I like the way that they form the drop. The Nouveau are fine, but I find that not all colors are equal, and some of them do leave a bit of a tip on them, so they become more of a little bit more pointy than dome, so I'm not a terrible fan of that. And then the glitter glue doesn't really leave as much dimension as these ones. So I did make a few Christmas cards. This is actually a 2-for-1 video. Normally at the end of each month I create Christmas cards and I post a separate video. However, I was on a vacation, and so you're getting to see the Christmas cards I made, but there won't be a separate video. So let me put these away and then I'll show you the cards, and then I also made one scrapbook layout. The design of the cards are basically the same, but I did do a couple different techniques. So I used some mandala stencils, and I basically did descending or made smaller circles as I went down, and I used in here a combination of those Tonic Studio crystal drops, the glitter glue, and some silver stickles. Now I did not dispense these directly out of the bottle. I actually put them in a palette and I used a stylus in order to make the drops. So that's one of those devices has a little ball on the end, and so I just tapped it into the gel or paint or whatever you want to call it, and dotted it on the stencil. Now the Tonic ones are really quite clear, and so they do fade out quite a bit, but they still turned out all right. So I did that, and then the Joy is die cut from paper, and I used the same glitter glue that I made these dots with. I actually painted it on the die cut, and then I covered it with glossy accents after I was finished. So this card is basically the exact same idea, only I used a different mandala. Yeah, I used a different mandala stencil. And this one, I actually used a mandala kit that I have. I bought it off of Amazon. It came in a pouch. And in this kit, there are these, I guess they're like acrylic rods. And I just did the same thing as I did with the stylus, is I just applied a dot of like this red into the stencil, and then I just pressed down on this and it spread it out. So that's how I got those round dots, and you'll notice they are textured, but I think that looks kind of cool. And then I took the silver liquid pearls afterwards and dotted them inside, so it is still very textured. I did the same thing with the Joy in here. I took that red stickles and painted the Joy, and then added some glossy accents on top of that. So I did this design twice. I did it with the red, and then I did it with the silver, and this was just scraps that I had in my stash and a little bit of glitter washi tape. So that's those two. And then the last one I just kind of freehand dotted using the bottles, but followed the outline of a stencil. And I did try and fill in some of the stencil and it didn't work great. So I don't know if I would do that again, but the rest of the dots were just free dotted into the stencil, if that makes sense. And same deal with the Joy. Again, just painted it with the purple liquid pearls and covered it with enamel covered it with glossy accents after it was dry, mounted it on some foil paper, and we're going to call this one done. I did want to also make a scrapbook layout, and so this is what I came up with. Now this heart-shaped die cut, I think I must have gotten it in a kit or something, and it's been moving around my room to remind me to use it. And I thought, well, it might be kind of fun to fill it in with dots. So these are all done with those Ranger dots, and you can see how nice they are. Like I said, they are my favorite. I did get these out of order, but that's only between you and me, okay? I did have a couple of these that were quite close together. You can't see that, but they did merge together, and that I just covered them with these metallic hearts, so you can't even see that I made that little mistake. So I started with this idea, then I went looking for photos and found these cute photos of my nephew. I love all the colors in here. I think that plays off this idea. And then I went and found some chipboard phrases in this kind of gray that just said happy heart, again playing off the heart. And I thought it would be fun to add those same dots on top of the heart, which is what I did. And then I went to my stash and pulled out a bunch of, I think they were Vicky Bouton, how appropriate, chipboard pieces, and I basically tried to somewhat color code it. So oranges and reds, greens, blues, turquoise, pinks, and purples, and then just added a couple other embellishments. And then all of this was on black, and I thought it would be kind of nice to frame it out, and so I don't know if you could see this, I had this rainbow colored lined paper, and so I just have a rough 1/8 inch all the way around. Now, I don't know if you've ever used a lined page as a background. So what would end up happening is you would see this nice multicolor border on the top and on the bottom, and then you would just get like a stripe down the side. But you'll notice that I have a stripe all the way around, and that's because I cut strips from the sheet and then I just mitered it in the corner. So you'll see that the corner has a miter edge. So I just cut strips and then reoriented them around. So I thought this turned out really fun, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. So that is how I completed the challenge for this month. I hope you are inspired to dig some stuff out of your stash. This is a collaboration put on by Bourbon Crate Crafts, and there are some other individuals that are playing along. Their links to their YouTube channels and Instagram are found in the description below. Be sure to check them out. I'm sure they've come up with some cute and creative ideas for using this item that many of us have in our stash that perhaps we don't use them as often as we should. Let me know below what your favorite way is to use liquid dots or enamel dots, that kind of thing. I'd love to hear what it is. So who knows, maybe I can use the tip in a future project. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and until next time, happy crafting.